And we're going to talk about getting yourself and your business ready for to do deals and getting capital ready. So what does that even mean? Well, we're going to talk about that today. So if you're listening, if you're watching, and you think someone else should be watching or listening, share this with them, copy, paste it, tag them, whatever you want to do, so that they can jump in. We will be here for probably half an hour, maybe a little bit more, actually, depending on how crazy I get into this stuff. If you know, as Michelle told me earlier, she's like, we got to put a cap on you. You got to put a time limit on how much you talk. Good news is that you can hear more of this at our podcast or on our YouTube channel. So it's the REI Deal Finders podcast, REI Deal Finders YouTube channel. Go any one of those places that you miss some of this, or if there's some other pieces that you feel like you're missing. We will also put this in recordings of everything go in our learning center. And that's based on school, and you can find that at dealfindersclub.com/training. That's where that will be. Okay, so let me just make sure I'm all good. Feels like everything's looking good. Okay. If you have any comments, if you have any questions, feel free, put them in. I want to try to watch them. Hopefully I can see them all, but if not, I'll get to you afterwards because I'll catch up to them all. So here's what we're going to talk about today. If you are thinking about getting into real estate, or you're already kind of doing real estate business right now, and you coming to the realization that you may not have enough capital to do what you need, right? All of your goals are here, but your bank account's here, right? Like those cartoons when you open up your wallet and moths fly out. If you're feeling like that, you're in the right place. And the good news is you're not alone. And the better news is that you could still do this business because there's other forms and other ways to get capital that you can use to build your real estate business. Okay. And so you can do it. You still do the business. I'm not here to talk about, I'm not doing the preaching of get rich quick or no money down or like doing this business with nothing. That's just not realistic. Not to say it hasn't been done or that it can't be done, but it's just not realistic for most people. And, that's unfortunate, right? We want to talk about ways that the majority, like most people, that you can get your business set up and going, and the ways that it's a little bit more efficient. That if you're trying to do this with absolutely no money, absolutely no resources, you have to hustle your butt off. And when I started this, uh, Michelle and I really decided we were going into real estate, we were going to make it a business and start flipping houses to buy rentals. We had 2 kids and we're on the way, a puppy dog and things to do. And I couldn't work 80 hours a week on it. So I had to find ways to get capital, get expand and build and invest in this business. So that's what we're going to talk about today, is getting yourself capital ready. And we'll talk about what types of capital there are and how you can be prepared for that. Okay. So there we go. If you don't know how to find out more about where we are, you could go to dealfindersclub.com/links. This is the podcast. If you see this logo in your podcast stream, click on it, like it, share it, listen to it. And if you like what you listen to, be an amazing friend and leave us a quick review and share it with somebody. And that would be fantastic. Okay. The meetup.com, facebook.com, whatever. I guess it's still Facebook. But anyway, we have groups over there. If you're not in those, reach out, send me a message. We'll get you in, and you can find out all kinds of information about our events, whatever we got going on. Oh, try now, Terry. I think I got it working. All right. So let me. I'm bleeding in my screen over here. Okay. Thanks, Terry, for letting me know, though, bud. Appreciate you watching. And what to expect. So this is our Deal Finders motto here. We are here to help you connect, learn, and build businesses. Okay. And so if you are like I was back when I was moving from my W-2 job into real estate, I didn't know anybody in real estate. I didn't even know that things like this existed. I didn't know there were meetups. I didn't know there were people that would help you build a business or get connected. And so thankfully, Michelle and I were flipping a house, and with the partner at that time, flipping a house, and I had a question. And I went online and started Googling, and there was no Chat GPT back then, right? I started Googling, and somehow got connected to um, an online forum, and then realized that there was other local people there. I started showing my message, and anyway, we started having lunch. We started having pizza at lunch. We started having pizza and beer after lunch. We created a local meetup, and this is was so that we could connect with people. I didn't start teaching other people because of what we were taught. When Michelle and I got started and wanted to learn, wanted to flip houses. I'll tell you more about that in a second. But wanted to flip houses so that we could buy rentals. We didn't know how to do that profitably and efficiently, so we had to learn. And then to build businesses, if you're ready to build, if you are ready to get going now and ready to flip a house in the next 30 days, that's what we do. We help people build that. And if that's you, if you're looking for that right now, reach out, just shoot me a message, shoot me a DM, and we could talk you through that, see what that looks like for you. All right. So this is just pictures of our events, learning times. This is our online learning center. If you need that, let me know. And of course, these are some of the properties we've done with some of our deal partners and some of the building and businesses that we've done. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on who we are, what we've done. So today is just Friday. It's online class here. We are going to put this class in learning center so you can come back to it. But the idea is just so you know, we've been doing this for a while since 2007, and we've bought and sold hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of properties. Honestly, we might be thousands at this point. But that's not the point. It's not that doesn't matter to you, and that's why I won't spend a lot of time on what we do and who we are. But it's more about like how does that help you, right? If you're watching and listening to this, it's like, well, what does that matter to me? Well, the fact is that we've just done so many, see so many variables, so many different issues come up, and so many different sellers and buyers and properties and all those variables, all those things that could go wrong and have gone wrong. We've seen them and we've gone through them and dealt with them, and that's what having that learning opportunity and building businesses with people, that's what we're able to help with, and that's what we bring to that table is all that experience so that you don't have to learn through trial and error. Okay, and so this is us. I'm just gonna move on through. I did come from Colombia. I am from Colombia. Did come from Colombia. I went through school system here, and one of the things that stuck with me, and this is kind of an important piece, one of the things that stuck with me when I was growing up, and Mom, if you're listening to this, I appreciate you giving me this nugget, is that we were looking at houses. My dad and mom, this is probably illegal now. I don't know, you might get arrested, so don't do this. But every time when there was a house getting built in the neighborhood or around the neighborhood, we would stop and go walk in the house. I remember walking in lots of uh, houses that were under construction. It's like, what's this look like? What are we doing in here? Oh, walking around and totally not safe. I'm sure there was stairs, cavities, lots of falls and sharp objects, but it was the 80s. What are you gonna do? So, but we were walking in. I remember Mom, and we were in the car, uh, going down. I'm pretty sure I know exactly where this was, but uh, going down the road and said something, or somebody said something about I want to do that. I want to be able to make money from that. Or they're making lots of money. And then, and I'm sure many of you have heard this before, is that it takes money to make money. That was the response, and whether it was mom or dad or whatever, but pretty sure it came from that front seat. And it still has stuck with me. And it's true to some extent. But the problem is I'll ask you, how many of you have heard that and it shuts down your momentum? It shuts down your dreaming. It shuts down the thought that you can actually do something because, yeah, it might take money to make money. It doesn't. It doesn't have to be your money to make money, right? It doesn't have to be what you have in your pocket. You can actually borrow money. You can actually negotiate deals that the money comes later, right? There's so much that you could do. Yes, may take money to make money, but it doesn't have to be your money. That was so important in today's lesson as we're talking about capital, because we would have never bought. Oh, you wouldn't buy anything that's over what's in your checking account if it wasn't for ways to figure out how to do this, right? So buying a car, you're using someone else's money. Buying your house, someone else's money. Buying your first and flip house, someone else's money, right? You see how that goes. Many of you, maybe you bought or gone to college. How many of you have gone to college? Was that your money? Yeah, it took money. And hopefully when you graduate, you can make more money. It didn't have to be your money. That whole old adage, it takes money to make money. It may be true, but it should not be used as a way to stop your dreaming and stop your planning and your goals and your moving towards real estate as an investment. Okay, so remember that there is opportunity out there. Of course, at that entrepreneur bug, and I love going through. Uh, this is I went back to school. Right? I told you. Yeah, I went back to school, got my master's because I thought it would help me make more money. And guess I'm pretty sure I borrowed some. I don't know if we did student loans for my master's, but the first time around, we certainly did. Uh, so with the entrepreneur bug, I'll ask y'all, and I'm going to move this really fast. Leave it in the comments. Let me know if you're in the comments. How many of you wanted to do one of these? And have thought about selling candy, car wash, creating a pressure washing business, opening up a franchise. Quiznos is one that I was really thinking I was gonna do back when I graduated hospitality school. Food trucks. I mean, man, the market, the farmers market is packed with them, right? Why do people get into food trucks? Why do you get into franchises? Because you know that you're made for something else, right? God has given you this bug, this energy, this desire to do more than what that 9 to 5 is paying you or not paying you. And so we look at other opportunities that could be businesses or it could be low capital costs so that you can jump in and start earning some extra income or building cash flow, building wealth, right? Vending machines is another one. It's that low entry cost that gets people hooked or going towards those ATM machines. I don't know if people do that anymore, but ice machines, all of this. I actually sold these. This is why I put that in there. But creating a moving business, right? These are things that are low cost to get started and they're available to everybody. And here's the thing, if you're looking at these because they're so prevalent and it's available to everyone. The same thing it, applies to real estate is that it's also available to everyone, anybody, right? You can get into this business. However, it feels like it's not for many people. I was blessed enough to very early on to be so dumb that I didn't know that it was hard. I got in and things got hard, but we figured them out because we were already in. So I don't recommend that for you. I don't recommend that because you're right here. Thankfully, if you're listening to this, you don't have to do that, right? You're already past that wall of stupidity that I was in. You know that there's risks. You know that there's issues. You know that it could be a challenge. Things go wrong, right? So don't rely on just plain dumb, yes, to get you into a deal like I did, right? So all of these things are available to everyone. They are lower cost to get in and have a small return on investment. But it is something extra. If you've been looking at these, then it's because you know that you need or were made for something extra. I know I'm just done with that. And then here's that dumb deal I was telling you about. Thanks, Keith. Appreciate it, brother. Yeah, this dumb deal is the one that again, I got into it, didn't know what I didn't know. They gave me a loan 2007. I mean, I walked in because I was breathing. They gave me a loan, right? Didn't negotiate, didn't run numbers as a rental or a flip. I was straight out of college, and the benefit is I didn't have to live at home with my parents, and so I just went. this house, it was known as a party house apparently, and you know, some of my friends actually lived there, and they partied there too much, but I didn't know all that, right? And I laugh at it because I was so blind, so dumb. I didn't know all that stuff, and I later find out after I owned it. Right, that's some due diligence you should do beforehand. No repair didn't. We ended up just so dumb. We took a wall down because we wanted more room for the ping pong table. Right, we removed the bedroom when I lived there, and to put ping pong table in. That stuff, right? But thankfully, when I left, I moved out not too long later, and we put the wall back up so I could get more rent. And I had a roommate there that helped me through all of this. He and I did the floors together, painted it. We did all this together, and he helped pay for it. So, you know, we made a lot of mistakes, but we didn't really. I just didn't know, and that turned into this house, which is across the street from that first house. And again, we weren't buying on we weren't running numbers, we weren't paying attention, we weren't making good deals. We actually were able to use some private capital on this one. And it just we got to a place where we had bought a couple of houses. Michelle and I had four or five rentals, and but we weren't making any real income from them. And because we didn't know how to buy them right and make it an investment. We were just doing it. And so what I tell people is trial by error, trial and error. And I guess that's that entrepreneur bug. And sometimes we get out in front of ourselves. So, but it was here where though Michelle looks like she was having fun. She ain't having fun. She's like 9 or 8 months pregnant, 7 months. I don't know. She's pretty pregnant. And but we're sitting here painting with oil-based paint, and the other kid is at home with grandma. And this is where we were saying, you know what, it's not good. Why are we doing this with these rental houses that aren't bringing any income? We didn't. There's nothing coming good from it except for like, oh, in 30 years we'll get retirement from it. Woo, yay! It's like yes, we'll get something in 30 years from now of having to repaint stuff every 5 years, right? So at this point is when we decided that it was either sell these rentals, get out of this, or figure out how to do it right and do it for the future of our family now. So this is what we did. We made a decision. A realtor that was bringing us deals and working with us gave me that book hold, and I read it front to back. It was amazing. I still have one on here, and read that thing in so fast, and then I realized from that book that real estate is actually a business that you can make money from today. I say it and I sound dumb. I feel dumb. But it just never dawned on me then that it was something that we could have cash flow and build a business from today. And maybe some of you feel that way that, yeah, this is something I want for my future. I want for my future. But this book brought it home. It said, you know what? Yes, it could be for your future, but it can also be for today. And that's where we began talking about flipping houses to buy rentals so that the rental property cash flow could be our income to live on. And so that then we had the freedom because we could get out of the 9 to 5 job, had the freedom to then do more real estate or something else. And so that's where we went. We went down the road with this. This is the first flip on purpose to take the profit to buy rentals. So it's the first one we said, all right, this is the business model. This is how we're going to run it. This is what we're going to do. And we sold that house, signed all the paperwork, and put the offer in on a 5-unit rental house the day that little Emery right here was born. So we were in the hospital, and I was sitting at one of the tables signing paperwork, and Emery's in the little bassinet. So this is just a cool memory from 2016, November of 2016. So when that sold and we bought the first 5-unit, we went from 4 to 9 units. We became professionals at that point, like, oh yeah, maybe. And that was the beginning. And so from 2016 to 2018, we went from that first 4 to 34 and found out how to flip houses profitably, how to wholesale, how to buy rentals. And we both went full time. Michelle and I went full time in real estate. And that's my buddy, Emery. And people ask, like, well, what happened to that guy? He's wild. He's a wild kid. Y'all let me know if you have any questions. If anything pops up, I'm getting right into the nitty gritty right now. So why do you buy real estate? If you're listening to this, watching this, you're serious about this, where you want to get capital for your real estate business, I don't have to tell you about all this. I'll put it in here, just a reminder. If you don't know why, this is why. Cash flow, appreciation, depreciation, deferred taxes. All right. Why is it a good investment? It's tangible, steady. Anybody can do it, and it meets a real need in the marketplace. Okay. So let me give you our quick disclaimer. Basically, here's the deal. I can't guarantee anything for you guys. I can't. I'm not making a claim that if you do this, that if you do exactly what I say today, then tomorrow you're gonna have the exact same results, because you won't. Okay. What I'm different. You're different. Today's market is different. The your needs are different. Your goals are different, right? So, but it depends on you. Real estate, you're interested in, you want to do this, or you're already doing it, you're stuck or need help. Uh, it depends on you, how much work you're going to put in, how much information and data you're going to get, and how you interpret that, and then what you do with that. Okay, so it's all up to you to build this business. It's not a get rich quick. It is 100% a business that you have to work at. Okay, most people, unfortunately, most people even listen to this or in our community, in the Facebook group or wherever, most people won't do it. And I hope that's not true. I hope if you are listening that you will do it, that you will take the time to learn, get connected, and if you need help, you'll find someone to rebuild that business. But ultimately, you'll take the actions that you need to do to grow. Okay. Here's our friend Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad author. After that whole book, I read that cover to cover. Then I went straight to Rich Dad Poor Dad. So that was the beginning, and I think he was right after that, which most people, I think, Bigger Pockets, they said like 80% of the people say that this was the book that shook them or got them going in real estate career. Rich Dad Poor Dad. All right, so real quick, I want to we got to put some numbers to this for you guys. If you're listening and you're watching, how much money do you need per month? And this is whether or not you want to like real estate your whole job. This is all your income, whatever, put that down. Or you're just looking for a little extra income, put that down. Okay. And then we're going to times that by 12. And so that would be however many months times 12, and then divide by 25. And then that's how many flips you need per year. Okay. Hopefully you see that. It's pretty simple math. Hard to do on this one. And then multiply that by 70%, which is 0.7, right? So if you had, wait, back up, that's not right. Times by 12 and divide by 25. That's how many flips. Take that back. Okay, so if you're going to do however many flips you get, so let's just say it's 10 for easy math. You said, all right, I need 10 flips. Now multiply that. So 10 times 0.7 of it. Now I get it. I wrote this. So you take the average sales price of your market, times it by 0.7, and then multiply that by the number of flips you make. I totally wrote that wrong. So here we go. We're going to do it. We need 10, and our market is 300K is the average. So 300 times 0.7. I have to do this math. Equals times 10 flips. So you would need $2,100,000 in capital for the year. Okay. That's a ballpark number, but that's what you need to be thinking. And now when you come up with that number, y'all let me know in the chat or in the comments. Does that make you happy, excited, scared, worried that you'll never be able to do this business? Right? I just did that. I was like, oh my gosh, I need $2 million this year. Well, let me check my wallet. It's not there. It's empty. Here comes the moths. Right. So when you actually break it down, and I do this exercise with people as they're just getting started, if you want to jump on a quick chat, go to dealfindersclub.com or just .com in the top right. there's a chat button, and we could do this exercise together. It's kind of fun, but where it's like, well, how in the world am I? It's like 2 million. I thought this business was going to be hard before, and now you're telling me I need $2 million this year just to get started. Yeah, but let's talk about how we find that. Okay, let's talk about how we get that capital. Okay, again, it's not about the only bad time is to wait to do this business. Okay, so how do we get started? Now we know we need way more money than I ever thought, right? And this is why wholesaling became so popular, because it's like, oh, zero down. That's another topic. So this is the presentation I gave 2 weeks ago, whatever, in our live meetup. And we do meetups once a month, or just about, in Columbia. If you're anywhere near, you can come. Columbia, South Carolina. It's totally free. Show up. It's awesome. We have a great time. And this was the lesson I gave that day. And so private capital, private funding is a big piece of trying to find ways to fund your real estate transactions and deals. But that's not it. And so let's talk about how, what we're going to talk about now is getting ready and how do you become fundable, like bankable. And then talk to when you get that set up, then private funding becomes easier. Bank funding becomes easier. We'll talk all about that. But if you wanted this presentation or this class, you can shoot me a message, let me know. But it's in the training center. Okay, so we record those and put them in there. Each one of these tracks in real estate requires its own special education. Like, you've got to know what you're doing and where you're going, right? If you're doing rental properties, it's different from wholesaling. If you want to be a lender, it's totally different from being an agent. Agents, they got their own thing, right? They're nothing like trying to be a passive partner, right? There's nothing passive about being an agent. I can tell you that. All right. So each one of these needs its own education, and getting your being capital ready is no different, right? So here's the deal that I told you about. That was the first flip. They got us started, and I don't know if y'all feel this sometimes, where it's like you take 2 steps forward and then one step back, and sometimes 2 steps back. But we had challenges again. I didn't really know how much these challenges would come, and but we were able to get through this because we had made a plan. At this point, this is years after my first couple. We had no plan. We had a coach, we had a mentor to help us. We talked about how to actually flip profitably. We had an end goal in mind of what we were going to do, how we were going to do it. So that coach helped us with that. We had a partner on this. And then we did get a private lender, but that didn't really work out. But if you go back to the learning side, I'm not going to go back to that whole story, but it was fun, interesting, but we got it done. And we were able to use unique sources. But the big thing for today is that we got that done because we were bankable. I was able to go straight to USAA, which is a bank, if you don't know. It's where my insurance and bank stuff was at the time. I was able to go to them and ask for a loan. It was just a personal loan. It wasn't a mortgage. It wasn't for this house. It was just a personal loan based on our credit and bankability, if you will, right? I'm pretty sure it was in our name, not in the business name. So that's what you got to be ready for. And when you are bankable, when you're good credit risk, and people see this as you as being worthy of lending money to, then these obstacles, they get out of the way a little bit easier. You're able to get through and get over them a little easier.
Thanks for listening to the REI Deal Finders podcast. You can find out more and apply to be a part of the REI Deal Finder community at reidealfinders.club.